Good morning, everybody. This is Dr. Hoskins. I just want to welcome you to a beautiful Wednesday morning in the upstate. We have a lot of things going on around our country, around our globe, around our community. I just wanted to share with you something that happened to me this morning. We was at a 1 Million Cups meeting, and we did it on Zoom, so it was all virtual. But we had some really inspiring entrepreneurs this morning. We had Tamika and we had Regina, and they both were just absolutely amazing. One did at-home healthcare service in the medical field, and the other one is owns Fly Guys and Girls here in Spartanburg, and she was just amazing with her energy. And listening to their story and how they've pivoted and how they've changed through the cultural and medical challenges we've had recently with COVID, with the other things going on, the social unrest and demonstrations and things. Just seeing how they're taking things in stride and using an entrepreneurial spirit that's in within all of us. They've tapped into it and they've used it to expand what they can offer. They've tapped into things that weren't possible before. They've tapped into things that were possible that nobody wanted to use, and they've just pushed through and pushed into this new way of doing business, healthcare, retail, personal services, in a way that made me realize that's exactly how our innate intelligence works too. They've taken these external stresses that really nobody has ever experienced before, especially in the rapidity and the volume and the intensity that we have here in the last 6 months. And they've taken that external stress, they've adapted to it, they've used their resilience stockpile, and they've uh, changed, they've pivoted, they've adapted and gone forward in a stronger, better way, so that the next stress that comes along isn't going to be as intense. They'll be better able to pivot into the next one. And that's the way our innate intelligence works too. It takes the stresses that we put on it, that are put on it, that we put on it, that others put on it, that just living puts on it. It learns from it. It's called salutogenesis. It's when something comes at us and our system has to adapt. Certain parts of our genome, our genetics, are triggered to adapt to that. And as we go on living, those activated parts of our genome, of our genetics, allow us to respond quicker, better, stronger, faster, and more robustly to any new stress. And so the psychoneuroimmune complex is one of those ways that our body was designed to handle things coming in. The immune system identifies things that aren't self. Our psychology and our neurology identify it, catalog it, um, and also catalog the responses that work well and quickly. And so that the next time that stressor comes in, it's instantaneously recognized and triggers the response that works the best. And that's where immunology comes from. There's lots of studies talking about how the response to an immune trigger is more neurological than it is cellular, and more centralized in the central nervous system than it is in the immune system proper. We're seeing a lot of research in the last 10, 15, 20 years that have started to take these two separate entities, the neurology and the immunology, and seeing that they're so closely linked that they're really the same system. They're just have different cells that they use. In fact, we're starting to see that the mechanistic way of looking at the body is old and tired and not useful anymore. In martial arts, we have a saying: a punch is just a punch until you study it. Then a punch becomes way more than a punch. Then, after you study it for years or decades, it just becomes a punch again. We're starting to see that in healthcare too. We parts are parts, pieces is pieces, but they're so closely intertwined and engaging each other at every moment of every day through the entire life. They can't be separated. Yes, we probably needed to take them apart to study them and get to know them a little bit better. But when it comes down to daily function in a live human being, they can't be separated. Chiropractic has recognized that from the beginning. Some people call it vitalism, which is the belief that the sum of the parts is greater, the whole is greater than just the sum of the parts. there's some other essence there that makes us a living being. You can call it soul, you can call it spirit, you can call it whatever you want. But we know that in a watch as well, and in something that doesn't have a spirit or a soul, that the sum of the parts don't come close to the whole put together working in congruency towards the same goal. A watch that's put together is much, much, much more valuable and useful than the same bunch of parts in a Ziploc bag. It just doesn't work. All the parts are there; they're pristine, they're ready to go. But unless you put them together in an intelligent fashion, they just don't work. Same thing with the body. If you can, if you want to separate out the parts, you're going to be struggling your entire existence to get everything balanced. But when you let those parts work together according to the design, according to the blueprints, according to how it was intended to in the first place, that is when magic happens. That is when that intelligence comes in according to the design to make the second hand tick, 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 and then the cogs and the wheels all work together to make you aware that time is passing and that you can tell what time it is anywhere in the world. So that stimulated me this morning how they responded, how resilient they were, how they pivoted, their energy and the excitement about the new way of doing business, still keeping their passion for what they did before, just doing it a different way. Definitely made me think of, we need to think of this that same way about our innate intelligence, because it wants to thrive and survive. Everything it does is for our survival. Everything it tries to do is for um, um, our survival and thrival, to create a new word. So have a great day. We're here at purechironow.com. You can come and visit us at Route 292 and Route 9 in beautiful Spartanburg County, Inman, South Carolina, on the south side of Lake Bowen. We will see you guys later. Thanks again. Love to see you soon. If you don't have somebody that's taking care of you, I'd love to do that. If you're not in this area, let me know. I'll find somebody for you. Bye-bye.